Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am hoping that you have a beautiful day, just like me. Nairobi is fine, and we are following the politics of the day. Now, there is a TIFA report that is emerging, and this TIFA report is showing that Raila Odinga has overtaken Dr. William Samoei Ruto in the latest presidential race ranking. According to that poll, Raila Odinga is at 39% of the current. Raila Odinga is at 39%, with William Ruto coming at 35%. This opinion poll was conducted on 17th May, a day after, barely 2 days after Raila Odinga announced his running mate, and 2 days after William Ruto also announced the running mate. We are in the phase of elections, where now after the presidential running mates, there's going to be the candidates are going to be taken to ABC officially. Then the campaign is now, people now going to hit the ground for the real campaigns. This opinion poll, the same, I just want to stick again with the TIFA, because it's showing that Raila Odinga popularity, or rather probability of winning, has shot by around 7%. Because at the same time on May 2nd, there was another opinion poll that was done, and it was showing Raila at 32%, while William Ruto was at 39%. So they've been so consistent, and even though then the number of voters, the number of undecided voters stands at 14%, which analysts have actually opined that it might be the deciding factor on who becomes the president now in this election. The May 2nd opinion poll was conducted in April, I think between 19th to 26th April. So one thing that is also an indicator is, despite the fact that on percentage Raila is ahead, and remember this is normally on popularity, but then you may have to balance in terms of numbers. The percentage can be high, but depending on registered number of voters in those different regions, it might not really reflect that Raila Odinga is maybe winning the election. And we don't want to be nervous to say that. Of course, if elections is done today, then Raila Odinga is going to win the election. Now, unlike other opinion polls, TIFA has only interviewed 1,719 respondents. That's why I normally have a problem, because you cannot conduct with such a sampling size. That sampling size representing over 22 million registered voters in the register, I find the margin a little bit big. The results that were released in May the research was done between 22nd and 26th April. So between 2nd May to 17th May, what has happened that have now shown that William Ruto's popularity is dripping, and that's why I wanted to direct my analysis not on Raila Odinga's increase in popularity, but then on William Ruto's dripping popularity, because I think that is where there is a catch. What has happened between that time? The two presidential candidates have named their running mates. Between that time, there have also been the power sharing document has been leaked by, especially the Kenya Kwanza one. Between that same time, Amason Kingi and Alfred Mutua have crossed camps from Azimio to join Kenya Kwanza. Another notable event that has also happened in that political space is Kalonzo Musyoka's indecisiveness to maybe make his head full in the body in Azimio la Umoja. In fact, that is still, negotiations are still going on. So these three has been there. key to the interest of many is that between 2nd May to now, many politicians, especially the ones that may have lost nominations, there have been negotiations to manage the fallout. So the question is simple. William Ruto's popularity has dipped from 39% to 35%. That one in terms of percentages, now it's like a 4% drop. That has happened as 14% of that sampling size are undecided. Now in this video, I want to explain in details some of revelations or observations in the political space that might have caused that change in popularity. If you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I want to humbly request you to subscribe. Kindly click the notification bell and also give us your feedback. What's your opinion? Then, are you staying in the places of Nairobi and its environs and places where you experience frequent blackouts? Then what you need to do is to have alternative power backup system. This is where Instalight company have a solution, cutting edge solution, different packages from 125,000 to 195,000. Then what you need to do, I want you to contact Gidiomi, who is the contact person. His number is 0722 818 883. National popularity and dalliance with William Ruto has gone down, and this is because of the hustler momentum is deflated. The hustler momentum was deflated, in my opinion, by two recent occurrences. When William Ruto released that power sharing document, that will be one. It showed a concentration on power, where this person, it's actually, someone was making a joke that's a sales target, where this person gets, like, Mudavadi gets 70%, brings 70%, you take chief minister, and the other person also bring, Mutua bring 35%, get a ministerial slot, Amason Kingi get 50% from Kilifi and get Speaker of the Senate. So that concentration on positions and negotiations, because I think in the first 2 weeks of May, the concentration has been on what the leaders are getting, and the truth of the matter is that politics is about power. Now the contact element with the voters, especially people who support William Ruto's bottom-up economic model, that contact is been low because the concentration is been on leadership, and it has actually deflated that hustler momentum. The hustler momentum is also deflated because it lacks the currency. What made that narrative sink, especially with the voters and supporters, was because of the tokenism, the token that was accompanied by the messaging. When you will go to, for example, in Nairobi, where they were meeting, especially then maybe a group of youths in Karen, and tell them about the need to uplift the economy from ground, you will see such events would occasioned by them maybe being given wheelbarrows, them being given gas cylinders, especially for the women groups. Some were even given motorbikes. Now, with the lack of that token aspect in it, people are now not seeing the element. The image of hustler, what was making the youths around William Ruto to buy the hustler concept was the token that was in it. But then as people get to the campaign mood, and the people get to the real campaign, the conversation is going to change. And I want you to be keen from May, because in May, you're not going to give people wheelbarrows, you're not going to give people gas cylinders. The law does not allow you to give people money. Now, you have to explain the economic model in details. And in fact, we're waiting for that manifesto. So explaining it in details is not going to, they're going to struggle to make it, because again, the only people that understand that model well are some few economists around William Ruto, politicians around William Ruto only know how to slogan it in rallies, and maybe a bit of middle class people would understand. So I have a feeling that with that tokenism withdrawn, maybe the pockets ran dry, the hustler momentum is going down. But you can also not underestimate the competitive interest within Ruto camp that are now eating into the main campaign agenda. I want you to look at, for example, in Kakamega, where Malala is vying for a governor seat, and Boniface Halwale is also vying. Boni Halwale is vying for Senate, but Malala is in a very delicate scenario because he's seeking governor seat in a county that is enjoying, that Raila Odinga is enjoying support. Now, for him to get his seat, he's in balance of pleasing Raila Odinga supporters and at the same time campaigning for Dr. William Samoei Ruto. What has happened is that people have then gone to those competitive interests. People are vying and seeking their votes. Look at Susan Kihika. Susan Kihika is doing a lot of grassroots mobilization and campaigning in the middle of Nakuru town. That's a cosmopolitan area that has almost all the 42 tribes in the country. That's in such kind of a place, you have to be very selective and strategic with your messaging. With those competitive interests, you want to please both Azimio and William Ruto's supporters. The other aspect is, it will be so fast, but I think let me look at Uhuru Kenyatta hibernating from Raila Odinga's candidature. Now, the person that is running the show is Gideon Moi and Raila Odinga, and of course I'll do an analysis based on this. Uhuru has taken, is now playing a passive role, and I want to explain why this is now getting, this is now working against William Ruto, especially in Mount Kenya. What, and I think political strategists around Raila Odinga might have realized, is that the moment Uhuru Kenyatta, President Uhuru Kenyatta goes to campaign in central Kenya, or a friction between him and Deputy President William Ruto brews anger amongst the voters. Now, the person that suffers in that anger most likely is Raila Odinga, because they tend, and you will realize that Musalia Mudavadi keeps on saying that Uhuru has the remote. That narrative is not working well for Raila Odinga, and the fact that then President Uhuru Kenyatta is playing a passive role, maybe in Kalonzo negotiations and maybe funding and other stuff, has now made Raila Odinga to be his own, and people now resonate with Raila Odinga, the man who is the reformist, the man who has been fighting for the rights of Kenyans, economic revolution. People now see face of Raila Odinga. That successfully is making him get the support of Mount Kenya. What was the script is, when the clash between Uhuru and Ruto, people get angry because they have been, Ruto was sold to them as one of their kingpins. So they protest against Uhuru by supporting William Ruto. But without that friction, as we go to the next 3 months, you will see that the temperatures are going down. Then people will then judge on rational appeal, not emotions of politics that are based on politics or revenge. I hope I have really made my point very clear. Lastly, it might not be so effective, but I also have a perception, this opinion poll was done on 17th, just 2 days after Raila Odinga named his running mate. There is a perception, it might be too early to judge, but Martha Karua has injected some euphoria in that Raila Odinga's ticket. There are a clique of people that feel like, look here, it's time for the woman deputy president. I wish people see that she's also close to the power. And we will see in Twitter where maybe women were saying that I want to keep the headline of this newspaper where there was that strength of a woman headline, so that I will show my kids to come. People have had that emotional attachment with Martha Karua, and not because she's a woman. I think the fact that the gender agenda is on table is not the clique, but she is more of a mother. And people now buy the concept of, look here, The voting demographic was based on youth for the hustler, but there is another demographic that has been introduced. People ask, wait, should we also consider a woman? The people that have made that choice and have put that comma thinking twice. I want to believe that that will be part of the team that was maybe asked questions on who they can vote for. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my observation, but we are all in this country. I want to read in the comment section what could also might have caused the dripping of William Ruto's popularity, especially as we head towards the general election.